Thank everybody for coming today. We've got some information about the critical incident that occurred this morning. A little before 9 o'clock this morning, multiple citizen calls into the dispatch center about a subject armed with a knife, threatening people and acting erratically in the area of the Amtrak station off Southeast 4th and Holiday. TPD officers arrived within a few minutes. Fully uniformed police officers initiated communication with the armed subject. They attempted to de-escalate the situation and negotiate a peaceful resolution. The officers observed the armed subject injuring himself with a knife, causing multiple injuries. The officers requested additional resources to contain this dangerous situation, to include an ambulance to respond to the scene more quickly to attend to the subject's self-inflicted injuries. Negotiation efforts continued with the subject, between the subject and the police officers on scene. During the incident, less lethal options were employed to attempt to gain a peaceful resolution by disarming this subject. A little before 10 a.m., despite all prior police efforts, the subject refused to drop the knife. He then stood up and deliberately charged at a group of police officers in close proximity. Those officers discharged their firearms in self-defense as they feared for their lives. The subject was stopped and finally disarmed. Medical attention was quickly rendered. He was transported by ambulance to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The involved officers were not injured and have been placed on administrative leave per procedure. The KBI was contacted and is the lead investigative agency for this incident. All involved agencies are cooperating fully with their efforts. Police resources from the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office and the Railroad Police were also involved in this incident. This incident is a community tragedy. We are all saddened here today. Our prayers go out to all of the impacted families. I'll now open myself up for some questions.
How many officers fired shots?
The preliminary information we had was 3 in regards to lethal munitions, and we have a 4th officer placed on administrative leave for the less lethal at this point. That's an update that we have. So 4 total.
Chief, was this a case of a mental health crisis, do you think, or we don't know exactly yet?
Yeah, there certainly are some factors and indicators that lean that direction, but this is very much a preliminary stage of the investigation, so we'll leave that to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation to finalize all the details.
Do you know the age of the man?
At this time, no. We're still working on the identification with the KBI.
Did this occur in one place or in various places where in this area?
It was centralized in one location.
Which is to the northeast of where we are now?
Yeah, in the general area of, there was 2 very large piles of rocks as where it was contained for the majority of the negotiation process.
Was this gentleman threatening to other people in the public?
Well, the initial call, as I stated, the initial call was that he was threatening several citizens. The officers in themselves, obviously, when the incident finally came to an end, were threatened as well. So kind of across the board, other citizens, himself, and then the officers at the end.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we will wrap this up and thank you all for being here.
Thank you.